Yo, welcome back to the Out the Box Show. I'm John Wallace alongside my co-hosts James Luffy and Rory Luke. And it is LSU basketball season. Wow, what a fantastic start for the LSU basketball program. The men and the women's programs. Crazy. Both get dubs on opening day of basketball season. LSU men's kicked the – give me a bleep, Rory. Bleep. That out of the UL Monroe whatevers. What are they?
Warhawks.
The Warhawks. The War.
They used to be like the Indians, but that got canceled.
That was a long time ago, though.
Like 7-8 years ago, maybe.
No, because they were the Warhawks when we were in high school.
Okay, maybe we are getting a little old.
All right. The LSU women's team, Kim Mulkey's debut game, came out and crushed Nichols as well, 82-40. So it was a fantastic day for the LSU basketball programs. And Darius Days is a monster. We're going to get into that. LSU football came so close to beating Nicholas Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Was kind of refreshing to see LSU put up a fight. It felt good to have a shot. We'll get to that as well. But it's just a great time of year. And you know what we are going to do this weekend because it's such a great time of year?
What are we
We're going to put on another out-the-box tailgate. It's going to be sick. I was just explaining kind of what the plan was. Kind of the same deal as last time. We are going to smoke we're going to smoke some Boston Butts. We got a special mac and cheese. I think it's got some sort of jalapeno cheese. Shout out to our out the box NHL insider, Mr. Fletcher Kerr. He is going to help out. He's going to help me cook the pork, and he is going to do the mac and cheese. It's going to be fantastic. We're doing pork. Obviously, I wanted to do a pig, but we didn't have the means to do that. So we got the next best thing. But we're going to be on the parade grounds again this Saturday against Arkansas. Kickoff at 6 p.m. Come out and see us at the Out the Box tailgate. And you know who's helping us out with the Out the Box tailgate?
Who?
Hope you're ready, Luffy. Workbox LLC.
Woo! Martine, you've seen him out there helping us. Sorry if there's something wrong with my mic. Our technicians are having trouble the last couple nights. But shout out Workbox LLC. They're one of Louisiana's leaders in construction, industrial, and residential services with more than 20 years of experience in the industry. They are capable of providing storage containers, portable offices, portable restroom rentals, and roll-off dumpsters. And they've been helping a ton with our tailgate. Shout out Martine at Workbox. If you need anything, call Martine at Workbox at 225-343-4886.
Also, shout out to the Boot Crew Media Network. Couldn't do it without those guys. They have been working overtime during this busy sports time. Lots of NBA talk, lots of football talk. We're halfway through the NFL season. We're more than halfway through the college football season. And you can catch up on all of your content on bootcrewmedia.com and on social media at boot_crew_media. Chris Calderera. If you want to check out some of his fire articles, they are under the Out the Box tab on bootcrewmedia.com. All right, fellas, let's roll. Kind of like we said at the opening, LSU basketball here, and if there was anything that we needed, I guess, to show promise for LSU, athletics, since the football team is kind of on the, the downturn the past couple years, this was quite refreshing. Although it is very easy to, as young sports fans, to be, jumping the gun, right? We played one game. We won by 60-something, but it felt good.
Yeah, I mean, you have to hope that offense can be close to what it was that first night. Obviously, Days has a rare special night where you go 7 from 7 for 3 in the first half, which is incredible. And John, do we want to talk about a little Darius Days action?
Absolutely.
Why don't you tell the people what we have coming for?
Okay. I'm not. You've told me many times that I'm not a fashion guy. So I guess that's why you asked me to do it. We are printing some Darius Days shirts in honor of Darius Days. Be sure to check out our social media. We're getting them mocked up right now, and we're going to post them hopefully today as you're listening to this. So we're going to post all the instructions on how to get you one so you can go support the boot ups. And do we want to actually talk about his stat line, right? He for most of the game had more points than ULM combined, right? Ended with 30 points. It seemed like he was drilling threes left and right.
Yeah, he went 8 for 9 from 3.
8 threes is a ton in a college game.
It is.
Right? It's kind of been like skewed because Curry goes like 12 or he'll shoot 12, 13, make that many threes in a game, but 8 is a ton in the college game.
Yeah, I mean that is. He scored what is that? Quick math, 24 points from 3. I mean that's insane. Just to have 30 points in general is pretty fucking insane for Darius Days, especially for what we've seen in the past. But he's always been like a third or fourth fiddle. But I mean,
and this is why he came back, right? Because he's always reminded me of like a Draymond Green type. Yeah, but he's a better shooter. And if he's able to like get meaner and better defensively, like he could stick around in the NBA for a long time, I think. But he came back this year to show that he has that scoring threat because every player like on the court now in the NBA can score.
Yeah, and he kind of has like that small ball, like 4-5 kind of look. He's not like he definitely. You're right. He needs to work on his defense and his switchability. But he definitely has the pick and pop game down. And plays really good offense and can make it from 3. And any big guy that can consistently hit from 3 and play solid defense and has the size that he has can find a niche in the NBA. He might not be a starter, but he could definitely play a small ball five.
I think it was also interesting to mention that LSU had 5 different players in double-digit scoring, right? The amount of guys that can make plays on this team, we actually have a bench, right?
Yeah, and so I think this game kind of showed you how, at least like minutes-wise, what Will Wade's thinking about for rotation. If anything, you had your 5 starters, Mwani Wilkinson, Days, Reed, Murray, who I was surprised to see starting. Murray, the freshman.
Made a couple big shots.
Yeah, and Pinson. And then you had Fudge, Eason, and Gaines off the bench.
Let's talk about Fudge for a second. I just wanted to say that. Alex Fudge, going to be a fun name. Did get in, played a good number of minutes. Didn't really get the numbers in the debut.
But Wade said before the game he was going to play 8 guys, and they were all going to play significant minutes, and they did. And Xavier Pinson, he's honestly, I think, the biggest key to this team, like as the year goes along.
Yeah, especially with especially with Miller losing it for the season, which is awful. But I think your season kind of rides on Pinson and Gaines as well. Gaines had a really good game.
And it's
7 assists and 2 turnovers from a guy that was pretty much 1-to-1 assist to turnover ratio all last year. You need somebody like him to be able to run the offense when Pinson can't get in there.
Yeah, and Pinson was also, I think he had 7 assists and 1 turnover.
Yeah, as well.
And another thing now that we've lost Adam Miller, and this may have been part of the reason why Jalen Cook was going to transfer. He had like 20-something, I think, for Tulane the other night.
Yeah.
So now it kind of sucks that we lost him because if something were to happen to Pinson, he would probably have to be that guy that
I think he would probably be in the rotation.
But what a good move. That little, shake, gets to the basket, dunks it. Looked good.
And Will Wade has, praised Pinson coming into the offseason, saying that he was surprised by his ability. They knew what he was, or they thought they knew what he was coming in as a transfer from Missouri, a guy in the SEC, but he's really elevated his game and played really well. And another guy I want to talk about, Mwani Wilkinson, a guy that isn't going to fill up the stat sheet on the offensive end, but I mean, on the defensive end, he had 6 steals and 2 blocks. I mean, you can't. That is an insane stat, especially for a guy who's a sophomore. Didn't really play a lot. I mean, he played a little bit last year. Was kind of like the 3rd or 4th guy off the bench, or 2nd or 3rd guy maybe. But I'm super excited to see him kind of blossom into this defensive stopper, maybe a guy that, you say, hey, go guard their best player, and he's going to shut them down.
And he's never going to like probably be this great offensive player, but he can sneakily give you like 12 to 15 of just like getting after it on the offensive glass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, he had 7 rebounds as well. 4 of those were offensive rebounds.
Yeah. And then Eric
Gaines.
Eric Gaines. I mean, he's also another guy who's going to be like a defensive guy.
Yeah.
And he's going to, but you're right. Like if he can just give you a little bit of something on the offense every night, that could go a long way.
Yeah, I mean, Eric Gaines had 10 points, 3 steals and a block, 7 assists, 2 rebounds. I mean, it's like you said, another guy off the bench that you're going to need to kind of run that offense. And you saw that last year at times. I really liked Gaines's game last year.
Gaines's game.
He plays super hard. When he gets in there, he's going to have a high motor. And I love to see that. And I think you were just about to talk about Efton Reed.
Yes. I think he had 5 blocks. I saw that on Twitter, but he was also good down low. He showed you his versatility. Like he's going to be able to do different things.
And he's somebody that we've really desperately needed on this team, especially
a true 5.
Yeah, the last year and even the year before. You needed that true 5. There's going to be tall guys when you play in SEC basketball. There's going to be big guys, and you need to guard them. And, I mean, pretty much last year, your tallest guy in the starting rotation was Days, and he was or Watford and they were guarding the 5, which is a mismatch the whole game. Instead, now you get Efton Reed in, who's 5-star prospect, top 20 player in the nation, second leading scorer on the team. He had 16 points. A guy that's going to defend the 5 and also get a basket when you throw him in. When you throw the ball into the post, he's going to get a basket.
Yeah, like you said, so we'll see how his game carries forward.
Yeah,
SEC play, but these are good, important games for him to get the confidence going into there when he sees bigger, better athletes.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, if anything, it just showed you where Will Wade's head's at with the rotation, which is interesting, but it's also important that you get these starters and you get these rotational guys minutes.
And John, were you about to ask about Sharif O'Neal?
Yeah, where was he?
I think that he's still kind of working his way back. Hadn't really played much basketball in the last couple of years as far as like staying healthy and being on the court, but it would be awesome to have 9 guys knowing someone's going to get probably banged up at some point in the season. And I really hope we can see Sharif O'Neal because the clips that we've seen of him when he is playing, he looks good. He can shoot it. He can dribble it. He's a long dude. He should be getting rebounds. So hopefully we see him at some point. But it was ULM. I don't know. Well, hopefully our offense can stay, somewhat that efficient. That would be very nice because I think the defense is going to be consistently our best thing.
Yeah, and you'd like to see Brandon Murray he's I think he was like the second leading scorer at Oak Hill behind Cameron Thomas. You'd like to see him just get into that role of like a bucket getter, which would be perfect for this team. I'm excited. I think another thing that this team lacked all last year was a true point guard, and I think we have that now in Pinson. And we would have had that with Adam Miller as well. I think that's going to transform this team, somebody who can run the pick and roll and facilitate the offense.
Yeah, and I think that was a very great summary of the LSU men's program. But I think the overall, I guess the theme this year, it's crazy how the LSU men's and women's teams seem to always be in sync and be good at the same time, right?
Yeah,
obviously, everyone remembers the
early
2000s and whatnot. And I guess the most important thing, right, is the energy in the PMAC. You could see it. I think the women's game was early on in the day. I think it was the field trip game. I think that's what Hester said. So a bunch of young kids got to take field trips to go to the PMAC. It's creative things like that carry the program and that make it a brand as opposed to just a team.
And that's something that, you've seen the Will Wade thing, with the general video he did, he wants this team to have a full PMAC and have that place rocking. I know Will Wade, Darius Days, and a few other guys went and met with all of the frat and sorority presidents talking about getting their people there to the games. Will Wade wants to bring the PMAC back and make an electric atmosphere, because not only does that help with the present, that only helps with the future as well. You bring recruits in and you can rival, some of the other SEC schools student section wise, which is always a good thing.
And you could shut Diggy V up.
That's true.
And today was signing day for most of the other sports besides football. LSU basketball signed a good, class. Will Wade's, he's bringing them in.
Yeah.
He continues to bring in talent. They signed a really good class.
Yeah,
LSU women's basketball. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that he brought in like two forwards, both top 100 guys. One's a top 20 guy. Just consistently getting at least 1 5-star in every class, which is how you build a program.
Yeah, LSU women's basketball, nice haul. And then if we want to talk about LSU baseball for a second.
Before we do that,
okay.
Y'all talking about LSU basketball made me want to gamble, right? And I feel like I tried the transition and whatnot, and it would have made sense.
LSU covered the spread last night.
Well, it would have made a lot more sense for me to do it before the House Always Wins segment, but I'm already talking. So why not talk about an app that you can get on? Yeah, we're talking about DraftKings, and it's football season. Football fans, who's ready to score some free bets? Now you can when you bet on any NFL game this week with the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers who bet just $1 on either team to score can win $100 in free bets. When a team scores, you score. If a sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, DraftKings won't leave you empty-handed. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes all season long with DraftKings daily fantasy sports contests. Kind of getting out of breath. DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code OTB. Bet just $1 on either team to score and win $100 in free bets. If they score, you score with promo code OTB this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indiana, and Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit, $1 wager required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Let's talk about some LSU baseball. Jay Johnson is a gangster.
Yeah, so I ended up watching the whole press conference today. He's incredible in the press conference. He's only giving you good information, and he answers every question correctly. I
think the best thing he said was he said this in the press conference talking about the recruiting class, said there are some players on this list who will turn down $2 million to come play for us.
Yeah. I mean, there is there's some big name pitchers on that list that I think are going to get drafted really, really high. There's players from all over. There's a ton of pitching and guys who throw really fast. And then there's a position player from California. There's a position player from Canada. It's just a deep class, and if we can get most of these guys on campus, the future is bright.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The struggle with recruiting baseball is you get the guys committed, but then you have a whole nother fight in the summertime when it comes to the draft. But I mean, getting those guys on campus is a key to having a super successful baseball program. I mean, Vanderbilt does it. We've done it in the past. I mean, our best player right now was a guy that we got on campus that probably would have been drafted. Probably the best player in LSU history, Alex Bregman, another guy who's a first-round talent, even out of high school, and we got him to come here, and he went 1-2. So, that's always a key, and showing that you can make those players turn the second or third-round pick into the first-round pick is super important and will only help your baseball program in the future.
Yeah, I mean, even that's a huge jump in signing bonus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Even
the late first round to the middle or the top of the first round is a huge difference.
Yeah, and you reminded when you said get on campus, Jay Johnson talked about he wanted these guys to visit as soon as he took the head coaching job, and he kind of credited that to him signing a huge class. The second day they were bringing people in.
I feel
official visits, actually getting to see the campus because they hadn't been able to do that for a while.
I feel like there's just so much juice in the baseball program right now. It's just gonna keep rolling. I mean, he got another guy, 2023 commit today, one of the best players in the nation committed to LSU today out of Texas, a top 100 player, and it's 2023 signing. I mean, 2022 signing day, and the guy's getting 2023 commits.
And the kid from California that we signed, he's been recruited by Jay Johnson since 8th grade. Since 8th grade, he's stuck with them. Switched schools to LSU. I think it's like Jordan Romero or something.
I think it's
and he's got a guy coming all the way down from Canada.
Yeah, I think it's also telling that Jay Johnson switched from Arizona to LSU and also brought along
all of his guys. Yeah.
Like that tells you how he is as a coach. Like we always talk about in football how you don't want to commit to the coach, you want to commit to the program. But I mean, if you really like your coach, you really like your coach, and you're going to follow him. So it really says something, especially with like Jacob Berry, literally the best player in the nation, willing to switch up everything just to follow his coach.
Well, it's picking up and it's moving across the country. It's a whole different lifestyle over in Arizona or wherever you come from, and Canada especially. I bet it's freezing up there right now.
But if you think about it, those West Coast teams, like the perennial West Coast teams of the UCLA, Santa Barbara, Oregon State, none of those teams have really been that good lately. Those traditional really good West Coast baseball teams, and there's going to be good West Coast baseball players. So tapping into that market, and you get the South and Texas and Louisiana. I mean, it's only going to make this baseball team better and the brand bigger.
Yes, and
we should probably like go through. Sorry, John. I thought you were were you ending the segment?
No, go
I
ahead.
have one more thing to say.
Go ahead.
All right. We should probably try to do a breakdown of all the players once we get them on campus.
Yeah.
Like once the signing period passes after the deadline, that's when we should do a player by player breakdown.
Like after the draft?
Yeah, after the draft.
So I mean, that's
a long time. But
that is a long time from now. But that is like in the dead season.
Because if we do it now and get everyone hyped up about guys,
that's true.
Yeah, but it's a good time to like go through.
Yeah, it is.
So I think that, and kind of like we were talking about getting the PMAC rolling and whatnot. Like, can you imagine if LSU basketball, baseball, and football are all rolling? Right? Why? Like, it seems like at most there's always two, right? But we have the right steps. We have the right people at the helm of the basketball and the baseball programs, and depending on who the coach is.
Speaking of, also I just saw you just sent the PFT tweet, like PFT commentator.
That's a different jet.
And it looks like the same exact picture that you tweeted during the day. Like that looks like the picture that we tweeted at him.
So so who posted that? Was it you, Luffy?
Yeah, it was me.
So you're following the LSU jet, correct?
If I see something, then I just like go make sure it's like someone didn't Photoshop it. So I just went and made sure it was real, and then I screenshotted it.
And what was going on today? They
just were coming back from an area near Norman, Oklahoma. But I don't know if it's Lincoln Riley. Like, I don't think it's Jimbo. I'm getting kind of tired of the Jimbo like smoke screen shit. But I don't think it's Jimbo. I mean, I obviously think Napier's in the running because he really wants the job.
I think, but the thing is, like, we don't have to, like, we might as well exhaust all options before we get a Napier. I think he's going to be the last guy on the list.
And I think Aranda's serious.
I think Aranda might be serious as well. Yeah, I'm out on the Jimbo as well. Somebody commented on our post the other day or on Twitter talking about how Jimbo was a top 5 coach, and I was like, there's no way. Like, I can name.
Is his Alabama win discredited now because we almost beat them?
I mean, I think if anything, if we're going to get into, I guess we can get into LSU versus Alabama.
Hold on, before we do that, we're rolling, and that's what's great about this time of year. There's so much great content. You know what's also great about this time of year? It's a great time to buy a home. Right?
Always
a great time to sell a home or to find somebody to rent. Whether it's you looking for a place to rent or you need somebody to rent in a property that you own. You want the best. You want Blaine Loop with Keller Williams Realty. Blaine actually called me on Monday. He called me and he said, dude, are y'all throwing a tailgate this weekend? I said, yes, absolutely. He said he hadn't been able to make it to Baton Rouge in a while because he's been so busy with work and whatnot. But Blaine Loop will be making an appearance at the Out the Box tailgate. So if you do see him out there, which you should, because you should be out at the tailgate having a good time, maybe ask him if he can help you buy, sell, or rent, right? Make
Looking
sure
to upgrade.
The real estate market's never been hotter, and Blaine wants you to know that he will be your friend, your neighbor, and your agent. He'll really be your friend at a tailgate if you give him another beer and go get him a beer, or maybe get him a sandwich or something. The pulled pork's going to be fantastic. But Blaine wants you to call, text him anytime, 504-858-0031. It's 504-858-0031. Keller Williams is an equal opportunity housing partner. Each office independently owned and operated. All right. Now, we got into it. It's still football season. LSU, we're like, what, 2/3 of the way through football season? We're still trying to make a bowl game.
3/4.
3/4.
We got 3 games left.
66%, 75, same deal. We are still in the hunt for a bowl game.
Yeah, you got to win 2 out of 3.
Yeah, and I do think that is –
well, actually, you don't anymore. You don't have to get to 6 wins. But
so
we'll be in the bowl game.
I do think that it is possible, but this was kind of a topic of conversation at work and a few other places that I've heard. Like, and Rory, I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this, given that you were, in the locker room and whatnot. Like, the thoughts on this loss, because there's some people in the camp that we lost. So how could you feel good at all about this?
Yeah.
And then there's other people that say, okay, it's encouraging that although LSU has been faced with such adversity, although all these players got hurt, although Coach O's on his way out, although everything, like this win meant at least something for the program.
Yeah, I think it's something to build on. It's not like it's a demoralizing loss, like as in you were really close and you could have won the game, but at the end of the day, it's a stepping stone and it's something to build on. And I think that if anything, you'll take last week's game and kind of like build upon it and move it into this week's game and say, hey, look, we are pretty good. Like, it's like we just hung tough with probably, the second best team in the nation. Maybe not. We can get to that, but like, we just hung tough with them. We were right there. We were 10 yards away from winning the game. Like, we can beat this Arkansas team. We can beat this Texas A&M team. Like, we got everything right here. Let's go out and let's get it done.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun seeing Nick stressed, but it still sucks to lose. It should never be like
he is the definition of someone who kicks rocks. Like, he's like that mad little kid that just kicks things, like kicks air on the sideline.
It should be, never satisfying, and never should be like, oh, we kept it close with Bama. Like, that should never be like the goal. And that's how far like it's fallen, right?
Yeah.
But it's not as gloomy as everyone on the radio or people might like led you have to believe, before.
It's not like we got skull crushed 38 to 3.
You can turn a program around nowadays in a year. Like, that's just with the transfers and everything. It's not as bad as it looked. Like, you saw, there's still like good players on the team.
Yeah, there's talent.
Like, we don't need an entire new roster.
No.
We just need some players and some good coaches.
Yeah.
And that can be turned around quickly. That being said, the momentum thing, like Rory said, can you ride that positive momentum? Like, if you lose this week, then that's all dead. But like, it would be good to ride that positive momentum as far as keeping guys on the team that we have now.
Yeah.
Like, if they're having fun and playing a lot, to stay. And then also just recruiting towards the end of recruiting. We retained a lot of our guys so far, but towards the end of the early signing period, it would just be nice to take some momentum that way.
And I mean, and like getting into the actual game, like, I don't know. I think Alabama just kind of shot themselves in the foot and weren't really that good and didn't look good at all. I mean, their offense looked horrific, especially against playing LSU's B team on defense. I mean, what if we only had those like 8 starters or however many starters were out?
But I don't even know. I don't even know if the team plays as hard. I don't even know if it's as close if we have all of our starters, right? I think this was more of like let's just screw it. Let's go in there and try to beat Bama in Tuscaloosa and just play loose.
Durante Jones called his best game of the year. I thought.
Yeah.
Like finally mix some things up on third down. We were able to get off the field on third down.
I mean, the blitzes too. Like he just went with what worked.
We've been begging for that.
I mean, it's like we saw this when UCLA played us. Like they just blitzed the living hell out of us, and we couldn't do anything. So that's what Durante Jones did. I mean, he showed a willingness to keep with what works, and it worked the whole game.
Yeah, and Jay Ward was back, which I think helped, and then McLaughlin, every time he comes in when guys are out, he seems to do a good job. I know he may have given up that second or third touchdown Bama had, but kind of a hard player for him to defend. He always tackles, and he is always running around playing hard, breaking up plays. Shout out Dwight. Shout out Jay Ward for laying that hit on their QB. That was awesome to see. I mean, that was probably my favorite play of the game is Ward popping Bryce Young.
That was nice. And I was surprised Bryce Young didn't go down, but like it was a clean hit too. It was beautiful.
And Neil Farrell also, great game.
Yeah.
I mean, he played incredible. He dominated their front. And Alabama has some troubles on that O-line. It sucks that we didn't really have our full team though, because like I don't think they're that great this year.
I really don't think so either.
Because Bryce Young just hasn't looked that impressive to where they can go blow anyone out if their defense has a bad game.
Yeah, I mean, it also just looked like how are they going to score on Georgia's defense? I mean, Georgia's defense is probably one of the best defenses in college football in the last 10 years, and nobody's been able to score on them all year. How is that Alabama offense, as anemic as it is, just going to score on Georgia? I don't know. I think they might get blown out.
Yeah, we talked for a minute to finish up on the defensive side about Blake Baker last week, the linebackers coach. He's done a great job with Damone Clark, and Damone Clark's also gotten so much better as the years progressed.
Yeah,
and Baskerville too had a couple nice plays. So I really hope we retain him. Like I said last week, I mean, he would be another guy and another guy who's big in recruiting. So.
And we'll get. I guess let's get into like the question of the game was the Johnson versus Nuss debate. If I'm honest, like where I stand on it is like, yeah, Johnson hasn't looked great, but that was one game where he didn't really. There are other games where Johnson was the only reason that we were anywhere near the game. So I really don't. I don't know if Nussmeier is the answer. I think LSU fans are quick to call for the backup when they don't really know what the backup is. It's like Brandon Harris and Anthony Jennings. Like Anthony Jennings was not better than Brandon Harris, and Brandon Harris, like they were both just really bad. And
I think they just want to see when something's just not working continuously. They want to see a change.
Yeah, but Max didn't have
something.
his best game.
Yeah, but they're so quick to pull the trigger. I mean, Nussmeier, like while he's looked good in the few games that he's played, like he's still a freshman. Or I mean, you're not really a freshman week 10, but like he's still new and like not what Max Johnson is, and not as proven as Max Johnson. I think Nussmeier's going to get in the game against Arkansas because. It doesn't really care. I mean, why would he? He doesn't have a job.
I think the thing that pissed LSU fans off, including me, was like, you can't just say, "Oh, we didn't use them because like they were gonna use them, but they didn't use them because they were gonna burn his red shirt, which they weren't even gonna burn his red shirt." One, he still had another game, like he could have played and then not played the rest of the year. But like anytime you have a chance to beat Alabama, or anytime you're playing Alabama, burning one person's red shirt is so much, like that's so little compared to the LSU-Alabama game as a whole. I think that pissed a lot of people off that he said that after, and that kind of magnified the Nuss talk.
Yeah.
But like they could have said he wasn't ready. Like he could have said he wasn't ready.
I think
we didn't have a
package
for him. Instead of saying, well, we didn't want to burn his red shirt. Like you're to beat Alabama, you'll burn 10 guys' red shirt.
Yeah.
Like that was a bad excuse, but I mean, Max didn't play well. Sometimes it's like hold on to the ball too long, and how much of it is Pete's too, really. Also, he did miss some throws, but how much of it is Pete's too? He might not be comfortable in the offense, and I don't know if the offense is designed around him. I've said it all year, but I think like now you pretty much design your offense around your quarterback. I think that's kind of what like people do these days. The
thing about Max is we talk about how you need to run him, but like he was literally got like bricks for feet as soon as he gets in the open field. Like he's got a fast, like straight line speed. Like he's a fast guy, but like, geez, Pete's like make a move. Like he can't make a move on anybody. You think of like Bo Nix. Bo Nix could not get tackled when Auburn played LSU, and Max is like, as soon as one person it gets anywhere near him, he can't make a move. Has no moves in the open field. Like if he's running with the football, the first tackler is going to tackle him. It was pretty bad. Like there were times where I was excited that Max scrambled, is taking the ball, and then would just immediately go down to the first guy. He just has no agility in the open field.
Yeah, it didn't really play aggressive as he usually does. And the pick before the half, I don't know how much of it was his fault, but like that pick before the half really killed it. So I mean, the defense had played so well, and to have it tied going into half, and that pick was a brutal. I mean, shot.
Yeah, the end of the half is literally why we lost the game.
Yeah.
Also, you think about it, the fact that nobody scored in the second half is absurd. Was there any points in the second half?
Yeah. There was.
No,
there was.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They scored in the second half? No, they were going.
We scored.
Yes. We scored. We scored a touchdown, and they kicked and missed the extra point.
That was in the first half.
No. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
We got the live scoring summary.
I'm with you, John. I'm with you.
They haven't scored a touchdown, and then they missed the extra
point.
Yeah,
okay.
To make it 14.
They gave us a little false hope.
Yes. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Lovey. Anytime you get the chance to go into Tuscaloosa, right? Yeah. Especially after they pounded us last year. They drubbed us. Like they drugged the floor with us in Tiger Stadium. Coach O's on his way out. If I'm Coach O, yes, you made a promise to these players. You look out for their future and whatnot. But I think it could only benefit Nussmeier for him to get in the game and go get that experience as a freshman to play in Tuscaloosa at Bama, because you know what? It's not going to get any worse than that. Like
okay.
That's going to be the greatest learning experience you can give it.
Going into this week, who do you think is going to start, and will you think the other? How fast is the pull? How fast is his string?
He might just they might switch him out during series. Like, no, Coach O doesn't care right now.
That's true.
Like they could switch him out every other series. I really don't have a clue. He's definitely. I mean, it sounds like he's definitely going to play.
Yeah.
Because but the thing is, they're pretty much competing now.
Yeah.
Because did we say this last week that there won't be all three on campus?
Yeah, we said that.
It won't be Walker Howard, Max, and Nuss.
Yeah.
Like one of the three is going to transfer. And I mean, like if Max gets beat out at the end of the season, he's going to transfer.
Yeah.
Like if Nuss is our starter for like the last two games, yeah, he'll transfer. So I don't know. Like I think it's almost like a quarterback competition these last 3 weeks now. And let's talk about the other big play. Coach O going for it.
That was crazy.
It's hard to go back and say now. I mean, but that's a hard spot to play. I've always thought that's such a hard spot to call play from. Rory, I don't know if you from a football standpoint, but when you're at the 8-yard line, 7-yard line, you don't have any space to throw, especially at the routes, goal line. You have them for whatever amount of plays to get X downs. The defense just has such an advantage with their back, using the back of the field, as a protection.
I think you go for it at that point. You don't know if you're getting the ball back or if you're going to be able. I mean, we got lucky on when we came back. They made a quick stop and we already had the ball in field goal range, off 2 plays, and they're just in prevent defense.
Yeah.
I think you the thing is, it's not a battle of 1 versus 2 or two undefeated teams. You're literally a 4. You're a 4-4 team coming into Alabama.
Yeah, and our offense just isn't that great. I think that's the other side of the argument. It's our offense isn't that great. So if we get the ball back, are we even going to be able to get in the touchdown?
In the field goal range.
But yeah, I don't know.
You're going to have to get into field goal range, and then you're taking the number 2 team in the nation to overtime at their place. I mean, I don't think I was all for going for it at that point. I don't think you're going to get – I didn't think they would get that opportunity again to take the lead or even to score again.
I I was fine with either one, really, but it's just our offense not being that good made me and where it was. Like if it was from the 4, I think it would have been completely different. But I don't know. What do you think, John? I know you would have kicked it.
No. I think Coach O's in the mode where you go for it,
And the team probably knew that before the game.
I mean, you already did the fake punt at the beginning of the year. That should tell you where you're at.
That's what I thought. I'd forget. That's what I thought you were talking about. That was nuts. That was awesome. That was incredible.
Shout out Avery.
Throw him in at quarterback, right? But yeah, I mean, I think you have this save is that he gets in trouble. When he gets in trouble, he starts pressing back.
Yeah.
And that's when he makes mistakes, right? When he gets flustered and he's yelling at the team, they don't know what to do because they're so scared that they're going to get chewed out on the sideline and MF'd. Like, that's what you got to do with Nick Saban. And it probably wasn't going to work out for LSU, but it wasn't going to work out for them anyway.
Also, like, if he takes the points there and then we don't get back in the field goal range, everybody's complaining about how he didn't go for it. You know, it's just hindsight's 2020. Everybody's gonna have their own opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I just wanted to talk about it because like it is.
And I think the biggest factor as well is that it's not 2 field goals win the game. I think that's a completely different situation.
I
think
agree.
If you're down by 5, I think you would kick the field goal. And then you get a field goal to win the game.
I agree.
You're at 6. You're playing for overtime. We're not playing for overtime. We're playing to win.
We on the road, yeah.
Yeah.
As a huge underdog. Yeah.
You got to make a call. That's just what happens. So
any more? Oh, I have a couple more notes from the game. Sorry, as I'm saying, any more notes for the game? 80 is special. Jack Besh, like he's in there blocking on every run.
Yeah.
They got to get him off special teams. I said this earlier in the year, but like. He's a freshman. Like he doesn't need to be out there every single play. He's on every special team unit there is, and he's playing a ton of snaps on offense as a tight end in the SEC. He's a true freshman. I mean, he played his ass off. Probably should have had a couple more catches if the ball was closer to him. If Max could have located him, he could have had shit. He could have ended Alabama's season.
Jack Besh is on the trajectory to be 18. Like. Maybe junior year or senior year,
player.
He'll be number 18 and he will be a beloved Tiger. Like he is one of those guys, is a hometown guy. People like him, people know him personal. He's one of those guys that every LSU fan will love Jack Besh. I think they already do, but like he will be one of those guys that people remember so fondly. And I think he'll go down as probably one of the best tight ends. I mean, LSU is not a tight end school. He'll probably be one of the best tight ends.
It'll be interesting to see if he plays tight end next year. But I think that he might be our only option, depending on like transfers. They've got to go after a tight end probably in the portal. The new coach does.
Yeah, well, you get Johnson coming in too, and you get. I mean, Cole Taylor. You think Cole Taylor's done? I don't think Cole Taylor's done.
I don't know.
But yeah, I agree.
I just think for depth, you need more than one tight end.
Agree.
They're out there, and Mashburn's blocking his ass off out there too. So,
and honestly, Mashburn's been like a revelation for this team. Like they really needed somebody like that, the Torrey Carter role.
He was putting his body on the line for a couple blocks this weekend. I mean,
that's what happens when you get a walk-on out there that's like competent. They're gonna just like literally lay everything out because they don't have anything.
And shout out Big Ed Ingram too, because he blocked his ass off on Saturday. He's turned it on towards the second half this year. I don't know if he got healthy or they just adapted to Brad Davis more as the year went along, but he flattened a few Alabama defenders.
I mean, and I was saying this, like, is this maybe probably the second game that we've had our projected starting 5 in for the offensive line? Like the offensive line played really well. They looked good. I think this is probably maybe the second or third game where you have the full 5 starters out there that we were supposed to have at the beginning of the year, and I think they're gelling well together.
And Alabama's like not as good as their defense isn't as good as they've been previously, but that defensive line's full of 5 stars.
Oh yeah, I mean their whole. And to get into next week, I mean, talk about Arkansas. I think Arkansas is vastly overrated. I think we thought they were very good, and they don't even look that good right now. They beat Mississippi State last week, but if you
did we.
If you looked,
like that's how crazy the SEC is.
If you look before the Mississippi State game, they beat Arkansas Pine Bluff. Congrats. They lost to Auburn by 15.
Congrats.
They lost to Ole Miss. They got whooped by Georgia, and then they beat a Texas A&M team that's I don't think is very good.
But they
I
beat
think we can
Bama.
them.
They beat Bama though.
I mean, we almost beat Bama.
Yeah, I know.
So I just don't. I don't think that it's going to be easy for Arkansas to come in here as a favorite, come into Tiger Stadium, where it's Tiger Stadium's probably going to be rocking. You know, you get an Arkansas
bunch of pigs being
historic,
roasted.
a historic rivalry after there's at least some life in the LSU program after last week. You know, people were excited. Most watched game on ESPN last week. I think that it's going to be a tough environment for them to come in and just win outright. I don't think
you got us winning.
Yeah, I got us winning this week. I just don't believe in Arkansas. They do run the ball well, but I mean, we have a pretty stout run defense. Linebackers playing well. Defensive line playing well. I think we're going to torch their defense. Their defense isn't very good. Doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. I think it's going to be a tough place to play. We beat Arkansas this week, and then you're looking at A&M in the last game to go 3-0 in the last two games, which, I mean, I think if you go 3-0 the last three games, people look back on this season, and you're like, dang, like it kind of sucked, but, you know, these kids fought, and they ended the season well.
Yeah, I'm looking at it two different ways. Like momentum-wise is just that's a good – we played pretty well at Alabama, but the physicalness and the emotion in that game, it's tough for now a young kind of thin team to come back and play that well again this week. I don't know if they can do it, but I think that another thing that maybe is helping that is there's a quarterback battle. So I'm assuming that it's going to be pretty intense as far as like those two in practice, because those two guys are very, very competitive. Max and Nuss are not like they're both like alpha males, so I think those guys will push the team a little bit. And I don't know. I think it's gonna be really tough. I don't know if I see us winning the game, but I think it's still going to be probably a close game. But Arkansas is a well-coached team. I don't think they're that great, and they're not like super deep or anything. But
yeah, I agree. They're a well-coached team.
I don't know. I think they probably beat us, but I think it's pretty close. And I don't see it being like too high scoring either.
I think you're pretty spot on. Everything you just said, Luffy, I pretty much agree with. It's hard to play that well after you just come off a gut-wrenching loss against Bama. And as well as there is some competition, and they're playing free and they're playing loose, and why not keep winning or at least try to keep winning for Coach O, who recruited all of them, right? So we'll be back at Tiger Stadium this weekend. It's been a month since the last game in Tiger Stadium.
Yeah, and then you get 3 games in a row.
And we got didn't know it was 3 games in a row. So it's going to be a busy next couple weeks. But I think that about wraps up we had every major sport. It was crazy. Everything's at least going okay. It felt good this week to not be saying, wow, LSU looked awful this past Saturday, or wow, like we're so bad, or like, Lovey, this is the most calm I've seen you in a long time. So that feels good.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
So that gave me a little time to cool off.
Yeah, I hear that. All right. Let's get to the famous point in the show, the House Always Wins segment, presented by
the House Bar in Tigerland. Shout out to the House Bar in Tigerland. You can follow them on Instagram at House Bar in Tigerland. At what is it?
House in Tigerland.
House in Tigerland. That's what I thought. And Twitter at Tigerland House. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'll be there Thursday. Come see me. Don't request songs. I'll be there next week too. Saturday game days. Great deals. There's no better place than your home. And last week I gave out a lock and I lost. It was a tough week for me. I put a lot of pride into my picks, and it was a tough pick. I really believed in Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and the Bengals, and they really let me down.
Wait, you got me to ride with you on that?
I know. It was terrible. It just I guess OBJ was just really holding the Browns back because they looked really good. Bengals look bad. Joe Burrow threw a 99-yard interception for a touchdown. Just a tough day all around. Tough day to be a Bengals fan. But you know what? We bounce back. We always bounce back. This week, I'm pulling the trigger. I'm taking a homer pick on this week. The Saints are just so flip-flop this year.
Great as a dog.
Great as a dog. So give me the Saints money line. You know, last week was a mortal lock. I lost. So I got to give you some plus odds for the week. Give me the Saints plus 125. The best run defense in the NFL. Titans have looked really good. Titans got a big win last week against the Rams. High off that win. Saints feeling demoralized by the Falcons. Bounce back week for the Saints. Give me the Who Dat Nation plus 125 to win.
All right, I had Canelo Alvarez by knockout, but I also should have given out Usman, but it was like minus 250. That's free money.
Yeah,
he's just too big.
He's the best pound for pound fighter in the UFC.
He did say he wanted Canelo after the fight. That would be a bad idea for him. Canelo is the deadliest man in the world, best fighter in the world right now. Amazing.
I think he's going to try to fight on Sonya soon.
Who?
Usman.
That would be a good fight.
Usman's got to go up a weight class, but I think that would be a crazy fight.
Really? He has to go up one?
Yeah.
I guess he's not. Okay, yeah.
I thought so. I thought he'd have to go down too, but Adesanya's, I guess, so like tall and long.
I feel like Usman could easily go up though.
Yeah, he also probably walk around at like I think he fights at 175. Probably walks around 190. So,
all right, I think this is a hard one for me. I never bet against the Vikings because like Kirk Cousins is so fluky.
He is fluky.
But Chargers -3, like they've kind of been struggling a little bit, and they need to prove it. They need a prove we're actually a good game, and that's a tight division, a good division. They need to win that game. The Vikings are just so up and down. I'll take the Chargers -3. They need this game, and the Vikings are struggling a little bit. And if you want a free side of a teaser, Bills -6 and a teaser, they're coming off of that horrible Jacksonville loss. Put them in your teaser this week. They're going to wreck the New York Jets.
All right.
That's a solid teaser pick for sure.
I forgot what I picked last week too. I think
you always forget what you pick.
Wow. Mine's 0-4 the last 4 weeks.
I feel like you picked the Ravens. But you always pick the Ravens, so that's one of your cow teams.
Wow, it's weird that you guessed that. No, we've done 85 episodes, and I've forgotten 2 weeks what my pick was last week. But I'm sure we're a winner. You can go back and listen to the tape if you want to check. I doubt anyone cares. Tomorrow night, tonight as you're listening to it, Ravens play the Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. Beat the Vikings last week, 34-31. Going to the Dolphins. Dolphins, obviously, they got some work to do. I am going to take the Ravens -27.5 team total points. It's -115. I think.
Wow, what a pick there. I'm just saying we
haven't. Are you smirking?
I'm just saying, like I haven't heard a team total pick in a while.
Team total because the spread's 7.5. I think the Ravens are going to cover that, but as I was looking to go lock that in, the Ravens -7.5, I saw the team over 27.5. That's a great number considering a touchdown, 7 points times 4 is 28. So
I wouldn't mind a Ravens Bills teaser. If we're gonna make an out the box teaser, that wouldn't be a bad teaser.
We're gonna roll.
We're rolling with the Ravens Bills teaser.
All right. Let's do it.
Let's see what that
Doesn't take much for me to lock it in. But I think that about does it for the House Always Wins segment in our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. We cannot thank y'all enough. Please come out and see us at the tailgate this Saturday. Me and Luffy are going to be out there bright and early. Rory is going to try to stop by, but I think he's going to be soft and he's going to go study. But we can't. I thought he would have senioritis right now, being a third-year law school student, but he's on that grind. But it is going to be a great day. We're smoking a bunch of Boston butts. We're going to have pulled pork sandwiches and some fire mac and cheese.
I'm locking it in right now. Ravens -1, Bills -5.5, 6.5 point teaser. Lock it in.
All right,
Your official out the box teaser of the week.
If you are a true House Always Wins and out the box supporter,
you're locking in that teaser.
Lock it in and let us know that you locked it in. Tweet at us. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors, the House Bar in Tigerland, Blaine Loop with Keller Williams Realty, Workbox LLC, and DraftKings. Also, shout out to the Boot Crew Media Network. You know the drill. It's content forever for EVA. And with that, I've got to go home. I've got to get home. I've been wearing these jeans all day. They were at the back of my closet, and they're too tight. That's it. Dude, I'm